Hello, and welcome to It's an Artful Life. I'm your host, Jillian Rhodes. This project started with a question: do the arts matter anymore? I decided to start asking people that very question and came up with this project, an experiment on how and if people see and experience the arts in their daily lives. Is it an artful life? Let's find out. For most people, arts is something extra, a leisure activity, an activity for the well-off. But in Cambodia, the arts are much more than that. They're part of the culture, the history, an integral aspect of what it means to be Cambodian. It's also something that was almost completely lost during the Khmer Rouge regime and the genocide of the 1970s. Cambodian Living Arts is an NGO that has 15 years of history working to restore and develop the arts and the new generation of artists. Today, I chat with the Executive Director of Cambodian Living Arts, Phloeun Prim, on his thoughts and views on the arts in Cambodia and in his life. Enjoy! So, my first question is just to please introduce yourself.
Hi, so my name is Phloeun. I am the Executive Director of Cambodian Living Arts.
Okay, and so are you, you're based in Cambodia, but where are you from originally?
Well, I was born in Cambodia, but grew up in Canada, and then came back almost 20 years ago, back in Cambodia.
Okay, so can you briefly tell me about Cambodian Living Arts?
Yeah. Cambodian Living Arts is it's a non-profit organization that was founded in 1998 by Chon Pon, who is a Cambodian survivor of the Khmer Rouge. Music saved his life, and it's how he survived the Khmer Rouge when he was a child, teenager, between the age of 12 and 14, 15. And he went to the US and later on came back with the idea to help restoring Cambodian culture, mostly performing arts, and also because what he discovered is that during the genocide about 80% of the artists were killed and intellectual. So he thought about the need of, because Cambodia art history and most of the performing arts traditions are passed on through oral traditions. And so he felt like if only 10-20% of the artists survived, no one was able then to teach and transmit the know-how of these traditional arts form to the next generation. So it's how Cambodian Living Arts started at the beginning with the master program to help reviving traditional performing arts. But we've grown up as an institution, and now a lot of we evolve our program, not only focusing on traditional arts and the old master, but working with the young generation of artists that had come out of our 18, 19 years of program, and helping them to express their new work or their own work. So some are basically continuing those traditions, but some are creating from the tradition new work, and some are also creating new, mostly contemporary work.
Okay. So the organization is working with artists, but do you consider yourself an artistic person?
I think it's hard to say I would consider myself an artistic person. I think it's more like it's almost like a statement. But I would say I do love arts, and I strong believer on the power of arts, and I've seen through my work, through my own experience, how arts help develop society. But more than that, I think in a personal level, or in a community level, or in a national level, I think there's a lot of reasons to believe that arts are really helping transforming society.
Okay. Do you have a particularly memorable experience of arts?
Well, I think each time I see the process of making arts really give me a lot of passion and inspirations. I think when I see rehearsals mostly, and when I listen to artistic discussions about what they want to do and present, it's where I think the most important things happen in the process of making the arts. After that, I think the performances are great for the public and the audience, but it's not necessarily what I'm interested to.
So what about that rehearsal process like really attracts you? Just like the creation of it, like the kind of working things out, or?
I think in the process of making art, what I realize often, and what I witness, because I'm not an artist and I'm more a witness and an observer of how all these things, it's the creativity that artists bring into the table, but at the same time I think there's a strong sense of identity that are linked with their work, and I think for young people, when I see them touching any form of arts, visual arts, performing arts, a camera, I think what I witnessed and what really struck me is that I can really see how their creative side of them take on more the rational side of them, and out of that come out like really sensitive project artwork, and I think that's what I feel like make me inspire about that.
Okay. Do you, considering where you work, this is kind of a silly question, but do you think that you experience the arts on a daily basis?
Well, considering my position within the organization, I think because in terms of leading a cultural institutions like Cambodian Living Arts, we have to be kind of like with art, like artists, visionary about what we are doing. So I would have wished that I can spend more time into the day-to-day and the practicality of our program and our project. But in fact, I sit where I'm sitting is I often look to the next 3 years, the next 5 years of planning what we should be doing in terms of program. I'll give an example. I've worked almost 2 years ahead of time to start thinking about an arts education program. So, working really kind of a more meta level.
Right.
And now that it's delivered, I'm already in another next project, but then our team works in those schools, working with the teacher and the students and making the arts. But I would have wished that I can have more time to spend time on the ground. But yeah, I don't experience directly arts on a daily basis.
Okay. Like, driving to work or like listening to music or like that kind of thing. Do you kind of see it around you, or?
Well, yes, I think that's of course, the inspirations of even looking at a window and thinking beyond that, what it means. I guess yes, in that sense, yes.
Okay. So earlier you were talking about kind of the power of arts, and I just want to get a little more specific on that. Like, if we had a world without art, like what exactly would we be lacking? What do you think people would lose in not having art around them?
I think they will be lacking of hope. I think arts make us dream. So then it makes our imagination thinking about another world, another way of doing things. And so I think it's keeping us alive, where food makes us alive in a daily basis. It's like right now, where art is kind of food for our brain to think outside of our current environment, to think longer, further than what we can think. So I would say, yeah, I think hope will be one of the main things that would be lacking.
Interesting. So, what do you think it means to live an artful life? To live an artful life.
An artful life?
Yeah, what does that mean for you?
In English, it's artful life. What?
Yeah, artful. Yeah.
Artful life.
Yeah. It's just like.
Well, I guess everyone live an artful life because I think we all have that side of our brain that are creative, but some can have it more fulfilled, and some have it more still or hidden. But I guess we should and we can and we have an artful life.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. That's all the questions.
Thank you.
That I have. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your visit.
It's an Artful Life will return next week with another interview. Thanks for listening.